Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is POV, and welcome back to another week of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 4, Diamonds Unbreakable. I believe we are in episode 18. So, this was a quite simple episode, to be honest. I wasn't too sure how they were going to handle it. At the same time, I was kind of looking forward to it since it was not my favorite storyline of Part 4 and not my favorite character that got introduced. At the same time, I am seeing how the anime has been doing a great job in adapting the manga. I believe that I was confident that they were going to make this episode at least enjoyable, which they ended up doing. Regardless, let's head over to the overview. The episode starts off with Josuke like in a bank, I think, looking at the amount of cash that he still has in his bank account. And at first you can assume that, yeah, he like old man Joseph spent all his money, so he's not gonna have any. But we find out that apparently Joseph did pay the money back, but Josuke ended up still using it all up to the point that he barely has any money in his bank account. So he notices something like under a trash can, and like he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" Like he's just being a little bit not really paranoid, but really careful, seeing how there are so many stand users now like popping up everywhere. And first of all, a rat comes out, so he's like, "Oh fuck it!" So he just walks away, and then he notices like this little gold figure, little gold bug-like thing, walking out with a freaking 1 yen coin, I think, and he understands like this shit's a stand, so he decides to chase after it because this motherfucker starts running off like crazy. Um, and on his way, while pursuing this stand, he notices that a second one connects, like not connects to it, but runs along with it, the same type of stand. And then Okuyasu chases after him as well, giving Josuke some bullshit reason why he's chasing him. When they arrive at the location of the user, they see that these little insect-like stands that apparently are just like worst company, like bad company. Excuse me, damn that sub. Just like bad company. It's a group that form one entire stand, and so we see that the user. His name is Shigechi. I'm not sure about his whole name. Like he brings it up, but I completely forgot it. But he does inform us that he goes by the nickname of Shigechi. He he gets really excited that Josuke and Okuyasu can see his stance. He finds out that both Josuke and Okuyasu have stands, and he kind of like sees them as friends, especially because Okuyasu compliments him on how he's using his stands to pick up all these little random coins that technically is not stealing because he's just picking up garbage from around the area and he's just collecting it, and he's keeping the actual money value of it. So he's not technically stealing. He's technically not doing anything wrong, and this whole episode turns into a little bit of an adventure of like Josuke telling him like, "Hey, I have an idea. Like we can do this, and then we can gather up a lot more money." And his idea was to collect a bunch of like coupons that if you collect 10 of one thing, like you get cash for it. So they end up using Shigechi's stand to look through garbage everywhere, and they start collecting all these coupons, and they start piling up. They start counting them up. They start putting them all together, and as Josuke goes to the store to trade the coupons in, um, he he then comes out with a good amount of money, and as he wants to split it between them, like Shigechi turns into this little bit of a greedy asshole where he just gives Josuke and Okuyasu just one of the 7 bills, I think, and that's where Okuyasu like wants to beat the shit out of him, but like Josuke tells him like let's be the mature people over here and let's just handle things correctly. Let's not get too hasty with our decision making, and so as he's thinking of a way to maybe like talk with him about the situation, he starts throwing out like these lotto tickets that they also had acquired, and Okuyasu tells him like, hey, like don't do that, don't throw those away, like they can still be handy. And as Josuke tells him like, no, like no one would be that stupid to throw away a winning lottery ticket. To which Okuyasu like straight up looks through the garbage and just revises all the numbers, and they found a freaking 5 million yen prize lotto ticket that yes was indeed thrown out. So Shigechi looks at them, and he's like, "There's no fucking way that I'm gonna share my money. Like I'm not gonna share half of this 5 million yen with them." So, and that's kind of like where the episode ends, like that little bit of a cliffhanger. Not much going on, to be honest, but I mean, overall, can't complain. I actually absolutely love the way this episode was paced, which leads me to the 3 points that I talk about in every overview, which is animation, pacing, and value to the overall plot. Animation, first of all, overall great. Not much to complain. There were some CGI bits in there that they used for Harvest Shigechi stand, and I personally am not too crazy about CGI in any anime, to be honest. However, I must admit that this type of CGI blended perfectly in with the overall episode. Like you could tell it was CGI, but at the same time, like it was very, how do you call it, cell shaded enough to blend in with the actual 2D animation. So there's not much complaint that I can really do about that. And let me think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the pacing was really well paced, despite not much happening in this episode. The pacing was absolutely off, like perfect. Something that this part 4 has been doing absolutely great, pacing all these episodes and all these storylines pretty well. Despite that not much happened, the things that did happen didn't feel rushed, nor did they feel dragged out. Value to the overall plot, I guess we are getting introduced to a new character, and it's safe to assume that just like Rohan and just like Hazumata um, and Tamame, basically we these characters will be like characters that are this character Shigechi will be one character that stays within the storyline. To what extent, I'm not going to spoil anything because yes, I have read the manga and I know what they do in the story. So I'm not gonna say much about this character. I will, however, will mention that I'm not that crazy of this character Shigechi himself. I always found him a little bit of an annoying character, and however, his stand Harvest, I found that really interesting as a concept. Even though it's more like if you guys are familiar with Naruto, and sorry to bring a different series up, but if you guys are familiar with Naruto, if his power were implied in that storyline, then I guess he would be more of like a spy type of character, because this stand can seriously, like the whole spreading out and collecting items, and like that could work so really well for Intel. But regardless, some extra notes that I do want to talk about. First of all, I did bring up in my previous overviews how like Araki went or like drew inspiration from Dragon Ball, and like especially in this part 4, you could tell that with Koichi, you could tell that with Echoes, you can tell that with the transformations of Echoes, and with Koichi looking a lot like Gohan. And like just seeing Shigechi, like his design, it really reminded me of Dodoria. Like Dodoria, if you are familiar with the DBC world but just suck at remembering names, just like I do, just like I suck at it. Dodoria is that pink minion that worked under Frieza during the Frieza saga in Namek, the pink bulky guy, and his face just straight up like it's not hairs, like those things are spikes. There's some Simpsons Lisa slash Bart kind of designs. Um, and the last thing that I do want to bring up in this overview is just that little part where Okuyasu and Shigechi are waiting for Josuke to come out with the money after he goes with the stamps to exchange them, and you see Koichi over there, like looking like him. There's Okuyasu, but who is that guy? Maybe I should go say hi to him. And then he turns around and you see like Yukaku in the back. He's like, "Oh, fuck this," and he just walks off. That was good. I really enjoyed that. But regardless, pretty much enjoyed this episode overall. Can't say much bad about it. Like Jojo's doing what Jojo does best, and that's bring great animation. So my name is LPOV. I'll be back next week. Hopefully a little bit more on time if nothing comes up, and bring you guys the overview of the concluding part of this little storyline with Shigechi, which I believe should be concluded in the next episode. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Did you like the animation? What do you thought about the little bit of a CGI implemented into the episode? What do you think of Shigechi? What do you think of Harvest? I'm really curious to see and hear more about you guys from the JoJo crowd. So I guess I'll see you guys next week and have a good weekend. Bye.